Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, the cleanup continues in parts of Virginia after roaring floodwaters separated families and caused significant damage. CBS's Christina Raffini has the latest from Buchanan County.
Floodwaters have receded in southwest Virginia, but not before taking a devastating toll. At least 100 homes here were damaged in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains.
It's really sad because, people's lost everything.
With roads closed and no cell service, dozens of people were unaccounted for after the storm. Crews searched 30 miles of rivers and washed out roads trying to locate people.
Today, we are happy to report that 0 people are unaccounted for in the impact area.
The fast-moving water came Tuesday night, catching almost everyone by surprise and pushing entire homes off their foundations. This mother was home with her toddler when the waters started coming in.
Me and my son, my 2-year-old son, were on an air mattress in the floor and we were floating.
Now that everyone is accounted for, officials say they will begin damage assessment and start helping people rebuild. Christina Raffini, CBS News, Buchanan County, Virginia.
No deaths and just one injury, a snake bite, have been reported. Now our buddy Forbes is also in Buchanan County today, and we'll hear from him later tonight. Harlan County is in need of emergency responders. The shortage started when the COVID-19 pandemic began, and it has continued since. This has caused longer response times to emergency situations in the county. Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley says he hopes to build up local training programs.
People aren't going to drive an hour to participate in a training program for a few months. It's just not economically feasible. So having access to those locally is going to be a big step for us moving forward.
Mosley hopes to raise the wage for EMTs by $3 an hour.
Well, we've had humidity around the region today, but it hasn't been off the charts in terms of feeling uncomfortable outside, though we have seen a few pop-up showers. That's right. Looking outside at the moment from out the front here at WYMT, we had a shower here just a few hours ago. Actually provided us with a little bit of moderate to heavy rain for a short period of time. Blue sky and the sun is back out as a cloud moves over it right now. But looking over toward the Mountain Parkway at Slade, just fair weather clouds up that way. Plenty of blue skies into portions of the Kentucky River Valley. Middle and upper 80s around the region today. Some areas getting a brief cool down with some of those showers, but we're back up into the upper 80s, especially in places like Irvin and Somerset. Dew points mostly in the low to mid 60s, even Irvin's at 58, so actually doesn't feel too terribly hot outside. Few downpours, southern parts of Leslie County into Perry County, right on top of downtown Hindman, and a little bit moving into portions of Pike and Dickinson County. Hopefully we can keep that away from flood-ravaged Buchanan County here as we head through the rest of the afternoon. Just a couple of those showers. It's all along a weak boundary pushing on through, so I don't think this is here for a long time. We're in the mid 60s. And mostly clear as we head into tonight. The very latest details, though, on when we could see some heavy rain return, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you very much. We have some news just in. Ivana Trump, the first wife of former President Donald Trump, has died. Donald Trump made the announcement on his social media a short time ago. The Trump family also just released a statement, and I'll read it. Quote, "It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved mother, Ivana Trump. Our mother was an incredible woman, a force in business, a world-class athlete, a radiant beauty, and caring mother and friend. Ivana Trump was a survivor." Of course, she is the mother of Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump. Now, the Trumps were a publicity power couple in New York in the 1980s and 90s before their equally public and messy divorce after Donald Trump met his next wife, Marla Maples. But in recent years, Ivana Trump had been on good terms with her former husband and wrote in a 2017 book that they spoke about once a week. Again, just in, Ivana Trump, the first wife of former President Donald Trump, has died. We believe she was 73 years old. We'll have more on this later this evening. France celebrated its national holiday today with thousands of French troops marching alongside allies from Eastern Europe. The traditional parade also featured warplanes, military vehicles, and a drone in a performance showing off France's might and its efforts to support Ukraine. The opening of this year's Bastille Day parade was designed to demonstrate France's commitment to NATO and to European allies touched most closely by the war in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine 20 weeks ago. Troops from Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary were all assigned the front position bearing their national flags. Ukrainian officials said Russian missiles that struck a city in central Ukraine today killed 17 people and wounded about 90. Ukraine's national police said 3 rockets hit an office building and damaged residential buildings in Vinnytsia. The missile strike ignited a fire that expanded to engulf 50 cars in an adjacent parking lot. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said a child was among the dead. He called the attack an open act of terrorism against civilians in locations without military value. President Joe Biden received Israel's Medal of Honor. That's the country's highest civilian honor. It speaks to the two countries' close ties. The president is using the visit to assure Israel that the U.S. will not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. But the countries cannot agree on the best way to go about that. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid signed a joint pledge to deny Iran nuclear weapons.
You have an ironclad commitment from the United States of America to Israel's security, an ironclad commitment.
Israel is pushing the U.S. to be more aggressive against Iran.
The Iranian regime must know that if they continue to deceive the world, they will pay a heavy price.
President Biden says he wants to continue to work to try to bring Iran back to the negotiating table to find a peaceful resolution to end their nuclear program.
I continue to believe that diplomacy is the best way to achieve this outcome.
But the Israelis say that won't work.
Words will not stop them, Mr. President. Diplomacy will not stop them. The only thing that will stop Iran is knowing that if they continue to develop their nuclear program, the free world will use force.
Wednesday, President Biden told Israeli TV that all options are on the table.
Does that also mean, sir, that you would use force against Iran? Is that what that means? If needed?
That was the last resort, yes.
Friday, President Biden heads to Saudi Arabia to meet with the country's king and crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden says he will raise concerns about Saudi Arabia's human rights practices, as well as discussing what can be done to bring down rising gas prices. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Thursday. The Dow closes down today more than 142 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But straight ahead here on First at 4, the last surviving World War II Medal of Honor recipient is lying in honor this afternoon at the U.S. Capitol.
And it's warm now, but not overly humid. That looks to change, though, as we head into the weekend. The full breakdown as the heat returns in force. Coming up next.